Out of sight. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a real special treat for you today on the Hammond Cast Show. I'm sitting here with an old friend. We go way back, and I know you've heard his records for many years. We got him here on the show. It's Eddie Money with us here on the Hammond Cast Show. How you doing today, Ed?
Yeah, I'm doing great, John. Thanks so much for having me on the show. I would have got a lot of people know that we've been playing together actually since about 1974, 75. John was just a young pup. He was really quite the keyboard player, and we started out. We had the key to the Berkeley High School auditorium, and we went back there, and we used to get into all the shows from other and slam the door in Bill Graham's guard's face. Boy, did they get mad at us. But
yeah,
we go back, boy, John and I, we go back. I remember when we went to like Berkeley School of Music, and we've been hanging out and doing shows with each other occasionally every once. And I'm very grateful to be on the show. And John, you've come really a long way in your career. Your TV show's still doing great after 25 years, and now you got this great job with KYOU.
Thanks a lot, Eddie. You know, it brings back a lot of warm memories back in those days. Of course, that was how we first came to the attention of Bill Graham Presents.
Oh, yes.
Not exactly through the front door, literally through the back door. And Scotty the Guard, you know.
Sure.
We were legendary cats, you know, at those shows. But we got to see some fantastic shows. They brought The Who in, Jimi Hendrix and everybody to the Berkeley Community Theater. And the Barsotti brothers, you know, have done a wonderful job. The whole Bill Graham organization. And you eventually became to be managed personally by Bill Graham, which was really like a beautiful lucky star to be shining over you. And I always knew that you were going to make it, Eddie.
Well, thank you.
We met, you know, it was actually before 1974. As I recall, I couldn't even drive a car then. I was on a bicycle. You know, I had hair down to my ass.
You were on the edge. Yes, that's very true. Well, look, Bill Graham was a great guy, and we actually got signed on Amateur Night. They had a show called Sounds of the Cities.
Wednesday nights.
It was a Wednesday nights. It was Sounds of the Cities, and I think we were actually one of the first bands to actually get a record deal of a video cassette tape, if you can believe that. We got a deal by making a show on video cassette, and next thing you know, I was opening up Marshall Tucker and then doing shows, and eventually I was opening up for The Who and for the Rolling Stone and playing Madison Square Garden and having so many hits under my belt. I mean, we played the US Festival, 650,000 people. It was the largest rock show to date, to this date.
I remember.
With the Police back in 1981, I think.
It all started happening really quick, and I'll never forget when you rolled up in a limousine and you had the first pressings of the Eddie Money album with Baby Hold On To Me on it, and you said, hey guys, here's and you know, we went to the photo session with Lynn Goldsmith and everything.
Sure, great lady.
You know, and you know, we want to get to the things that you're doing now, but you know, we have a long history. You came out to the Bay Area. The Bay Area was good to you.
Oh yes, and I love living in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we had some notable gigs. Most notably the Corral Club in San Jose that we still never got paid for. The guy was Carl Kennedy. We were on the same bill with Sammy Smith. Helped me make it through the night. Remember that?
But they didn't. The trouble was, John, we didn't have a pedal steel guitar player, and we knew nothing about country western music at all. We were like a heavy metal rock band, not more like the Doobie Brothers or the Steve Miller Band. And we came in there, and those people didn't know what hit them. It was kind of like. They should have had the fence up around us, like in that movie with the Blues Brothers, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the beer bottles were flying. I went into the bathroom, and before I could get in there, some guy came flying out of there all bloodied up. You know,
it was a very.
But we had pictures.
The cowboy bar.
Yeah, we had pictures with Sammy Smith. Whatever happened to those pictures?
I don't know, John. I had so many great. I used to have pictures of me, and I got a picture of me and Count Basie, which was really amazing. Somewhere around. Picture of me and Mick Jagger. You know, I got a lot of great pictures, but. You know,
and then you studied with Ed Kelly at the Oakland.
Ed Kelly was an amazing. Mr. Diamanto. I don't know if he's still around. I don't know, but he was a great saxophone teacher. That way, and Mr. Hibner was a great music teacher. Also, he taught you a lot about the blues. Laney College had a very good music department back in the early '70s. I learned how to play saxophone in junior college. How about that?
Right. Yeah. Laney
Thank you, Mr. D. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Eddie. Well, you know, you came out to the Bay Area from Levittown,
right?
And that was sort of my introduction by fire to New York, you know.
Sure.
And I met all these heavy New York characters that came following you out there.
Sure.
And I was so intrigued by New York that look what happened. I moved to New York. I live in Times Square now.
That's amazing too. I mean, you know what? You always had that big apple in your blood. I don't know what it is, but you really get around really well in this town here. And New York's it's really a great metropolis. It's a great place to be, and to be as successful as I am in New York and still selling out BB Kings and still hear myself on the radio. It's one thing about New York is they always take care of their own. You got to say that about it.
Eddie's back here for a show at BB King's, ladies and gentlemen. And the last time he was here, it was packed to the rafters, wall to wall. This is a hometown crowd for Eddie Money here. And nowadays you got bringing some of your musicians from the pastor on the band, and your daughter's on the band.
Yeah, my daughter is she's doing all the work with MTV right now, and she was fortunate enough to get a phone call from Beyonce's dad. Apparently they're interested in taking a good look at Jessie, and she's a real talent. She goes out there. She loves old singers like Etta James and Martha and Vandellas and Ruby Johnson, and she loves Janis Joplin. She goes out there and she says a great version of Turtle Blues, and my lead guitar player Tommy Gervin has been writing some songs for her. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to take a minute and feature one of the songs by Jessica, by Jon. There's a song called "Right Now," written by Tommy Gervin. This is my little girl, Jessie Money.
We're gonna give it a spin right now on the Hammond Cast Show, ladies and gentlemen. It's been great having Eddie on the show. I want to encourage you to check out his website, which is EddieMoney.com.
EddieMoney.com. We do shows all over the country, and I'll see everybody in the lobby. And stay close to KYOU, baby, because you know what we're talking about. It's a great radio station, and it's also the home of the Oakland A's.
Go A's. Thanks a lot, Eddie.
You're welcome, Jon.